Planning, I'm Lisa MEECHES.
And I'm Ted Nolan. Welcome to the Sharing Circle.
In this episode, we're going to take an in-depth look at a brand new children's series based on age-old traditions of Aboriginal spirituality.
Scheduled to air on Treehouse Television and APTN, the show is called Tipi Tales. And here is the making of.
2 years after the idea originated, production is about to begin on an innovative new children's television series.
Tipi Tales is a preschool show. It's a puppet show for kids. It's a show that is unique in many, many senses, but primarily because it's dealing with Native spirituality.
The concept began when we were in season 9 of Sharing Circle, and we were visiting a reserve up in northern Manitoba, and a little boy had come up to me and wanted to know if a place like the Sharing Circle existed where Aboriginal people were happy every day. And so I felt obligated to try to create a place or find a place where young people, preschoolers, could go.
All cultures have a way of communicating I guess the building blocks of your character. And the Aboriginal way is through nature, through animals and so on.
The shape of the show is such that the children are playing, so it's these 4 cousins that come to their great-grandparents every day. And they're playing along, and then one of them does something, gets out of communication with the others. And the great-grandparent then suggests the animal they should see.
It's almost like a spirit quest. They go on a spirit quest to connect with the animals and to learn and to bring back something to the circle.
All the chocolates in all the world.
Tipi Tales has the unique opportunity to explore spirituality, which most preschool shows, that's not their center focus.
As a musician, I play a lot for children. I've done many children's festivals across the US and Canada. And I've played a lot for Aboriginal children who need lessons like this.
I heard a little laugh in the middle of a house. In the corner by the window was a squeaky little mouse. He looked right at me.
When they grow up, I want them to have a part of their own heritage and wisdom.
Mm-hmm. She's never to blame. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh. She's never to blame. She's the one that's the slowest to take responsibility. Part of the process has been to identify each of these issues, whether it's respect or courage, and break it down so a child can understand it, put it into language where a child knows what that means.
One of the things that Nancy and I have always said is they're short, they're not stupid, and you don't have to write down to children. They're wonderfully in tune with what is being shown to them.
Like humility, how do you define humility for a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old? So humility is not being too big, not being too small, being just the right size.
Not too big, not too small, just the right size is best of all. Don't try to be someone that you're not. Be proud of all you've got.
And this material, because it's coming from the Aboriginal culture, also has the Aboriginal storytelling arc, which is more of a circle. It's more experiential, so that you listen to a story and then you have to sit with it for a little while, and then it comes to you.
It's very non-threatening, it's very accessible, and it's done in a style that I think kids will really warm up to.
Why shouldn't we bring a sense of spirituality, that common understanding that we have with the Creator? Why can't we bring that to people in a good way?
And it's such a gift to all of us to have these principles given to us as human beings from this culture.
Next on the Sharing Circle, breaking the mold to create memorable characters.
The logistics are immensely more complex than we thought going into the show.
And I thought, I don't know, this is a pretty big task. But Leslie helped me to understand that anything was possible.
Just to learn to operate the puppets, which are cable-driven robotic type puppets, was a challenge. And there's the drama that has to be told, and there's the music that has to be done.
I think they wanted something that was totally different from any kind of puppet show that was on TV. We wanted to go for more of a cinematic, you know, one turn of the screw into fantasy kind of puppet. The animals are kind of looked at as creatures that we seek guidance from. They couldn't appear cartoony or childlike, so they had to be as representative of the real animal as possible. So David Morrow, illustrator, and myself met with them, discussed these characteristics. He went away, made some drawings, and then my crew and myself took the drawings and sculpted in clay each of the characters. From those sculptures we make molds, and from those molds that's where we get the three-dimensional creatures. He has a mechanism put in his head so we get a blinking motion. So we take this and we do all that and we get our eagle here. He blinks and talks and moves his head.
The puppets themselves have their own spirits. They're magical, and they have their own personality.
I just hope that the characters come off as something that the kids can relate to and that they work.
These are the puppeteer stools, and they're adjustable hydraulically. And what Mark has done over here has created an ingenious little joystick, and this will control the puppet's head, and these actually control the facial expressions, as in the mouth and the eyes and the eyebrows. There has to be a second puppeteer working the arms and legs. So this has allowed enough room that I can come in here and work the arms and legs from here. But because of the territory, which you're about to see, there's sometimes a lot of braces that may be in the way. So if they want, the other person can slide around this side and work in here, depending on the space available. This is the maquette that Lewis actually built for us. Did a great job. And what we have is our log cabin in the corner.
You have a whole world, and you have like 3 or 4 levels of depth, so that you can shoot over the shoulder, behind, and it's a very organic process. I mean, one of the things that we did in that first design session was, how do you see the world?
We built the armature, we've stuck the foam in, and then we put the foil over top, and then the spray guy comes in, and he sprays it, leaving a nice hard crustated foam appearance. Right here we have the teepee, got the landmass around. This is a channel for puppets to travel through. What we've actually done here is we've gone out and harvested a whole bunch of lichen and moss. We've actually dried it out, and it doesn't change color. So this is really nice for decorating. Cameras from here have the puppets running down here, and this will look like the puppets are running through a forest. And they've managed to make it all look like rock using foams and lakes and mosses, and then we also implement it with a little bit of real rock.
We had to develop many prototypes in creating this amazing world for all young kids to believe in. And if it wasn't for Leslie helping me understand that this world could be created within this amount of time and this type of budget, I don't think I probably would have taken that chance.
Next on the Sharing Circle, bringing songs, stories, and puppets to life.
Hi, welcome to Tipi Tales.
Prior to production, cast and crew assemble to learn of the inspiration for Tipi Tales. The show's spiritual advisor, Dave Corshane.
These 7 laws represent that spirit. It's not something that is tangible. When you talk of love, it's something you cannot intellectualize, analyze. It's something you feel and hear.
Oh my gosh.
Then the actors come face to face with their characters for the very first time.
Yeah. Holy cats.
Hello. You're a quick turtle.
Looks like a snapping turtle.
Are you, yes, are you a snapping turtle?
Whoa, her eyebrows go Oh, yeah.
It doesn't bite, does it? That probably could too. Oh, yeah. Well, you better not. You better be doing.
For some, there was an immediate bond to their on-screen persona.
Too cool. He's almost.
Yeah.
Very nice. Oh, that is so cool. He has such a personality and everything, it seems.
Go, runner boy. Catch your dream. On your mark. Get set. Go! And they're off. Junior in the lead. Runner boy bringing up the rear. He's gaining, getting closer. Oh, no, runner boy is down.
It's been difficult then in casting because you don't want cartoon voices, but it's still not real voices. So you find that balance between the character voices and the real voices.
You didn't fall?
Of course I fell 3 times, but I got back up and kept running.
Russell is sort of like this. Russell's a fun little character that runs around like this and tons of energy, and anything that sparks him, he gets going. So, yeah, he's like a top. He just...
Oh, that song makes my arms get all bumpy.
It is beautiful, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Now, can you boys try it?
It's an incredible cast. They make the puppets come alive.
Thanks, great-grandfather. My turn first.
You are such a good fixer.
I think the writing is very good. The stories are great. They're not preachy, which I think a lot of children's shows can get into.
Let's just talk about the word game. Just what exactly is a game?
When you're writing for children, a lot of people think that, oh, it's easy. It's not. There's nowhere to hide. They understand everything. They have all the emotions that we have as an adult. They go through them much faster. You know, the cycle of joy to tragedy is every 5 minutes.
And out of sight. Better do these dishes. Maybe one more piece of pie first.
And there it was. And how was it?
Veteran children's performer Fred Penner is brought in to create the musical heart of the show.
It was a pleasure when I approached Fred initially to see if he was interested in the series and if he wanted to take on something where he wasn't the singer. He got very excited and said, this is like a very interesting project.
Nice to do it live, you know?
When he writes from the heart, and he writes in such a way that it's a song that you feel you've known your whole life because your heart sings it. It's not just something that you have to learn. It's like you can sing along after the first 2 lines of it because it comes from the heart.
I guess I better listen really well. Even though I'm older, I can tell.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And even when you're just doing the arms, like you're sort of dancing, you know, Fred's music is incredible.
Guess I better listen really well.
Next on the sharing circle.
You set yourself a huge dream, and then you say, how close can we get to that? And sometimes you can go way past it, and that's our goal.
Quiet on the set, we're rolling tape.